born in Cleveland, so I lived in like the west side of Cleveland my whole life.
All right, there we go. I grew up a Cleveland kid myself, and so obviously the Browns are all over the headlines recently. Johnny, if you don't mind, I was going to ask you a couple of questions. How do you feel about the Browns maybe moving to Brook Park with the dome? Do you like the dome idea, or is this is the AFC North? So you know what, you play outside and the fans freeze no matter what. Where do you come down on?
Okay, so I've done a lot of interviews today, and this is actually the first one that has asked me this. And I'm glad that someone's asked me.
They have a butt on the side of their barn. It's a butt barn.
Okay, so you're talking to someone here who literally went to the coldest game in franchise history. If you remember not last year, but the year before, on like Christmas Eve, there was like the coldest game of all time. Me and Candace took our whole family there. We took our 1-year-old baby there. Literally, so I have been in the. I am all about the dome. Please. I do not want to sit in the cold anymore. I'm totally fine with the Brook Park dome. So, you know what? Like, I know there's a hot take there that people are like, oh, we don't want to move around to Brook Park. If they build up Brook Park and they add stuff around it, and they make a once-in-a-lifetime facility that can host a Super Bowl, that can host a WrestleMania, that can bring more people to Cleveland, Ohio, then I am all about it. And frankly, I'm kind of tired of sitting out in the cold. So please, give me a dome. All about that Brook Park dome.
Talking to Johnny Gargano, WWE superstar, and we're asking him about the Cleveland Browns dome proposal because, well, you're a diehard Cleveland Browns fan. And I got on my own audience, Johnny, by saying the same thing you did. I said, look, man, when I was a younger guy, I was like, nah, man, give me the beer. I want outside. It's freezing cold. I want people to have to deal with the cold when they come in here to play the Browns. But I got to tell you, man, I got a little old.
Like people say that, like, oh, we want the teams to deal with the cold. Look, again, I was a Browns fan. I'm a Browns fan my whole life. That hasn't been working out very well for me.
That's a great point.
It wasn't like it worked really well in like the early 2000s or anything like that. We were like, oh, they're dealing with the cold. It didn't help.
No, you're not wrong.
Give me comfort over there.
Absolutely. As we're talking to Johnny Gargano again out of the WWE. Buddy, I did a little research on you. You're the first ever NXT Crown winner the event at the Cleveland Agora. And I didn't know what we were going to get there. Like, oh my God, this is going to be huge. This is going to take off like gangbusters. And sure enough, I know
fans have been there with me, dropped my whole, I was basically my life at this point.
Yeah.
A good majority of it.
Because I'm driving.
I'm sorry.
Going
up there, they think you're so cute.
Yeah, I would have to, like I said, I'm a Cleveland guy. You know what I mean? So if you tell me I'm going to be a part of an event that people cannot wait for in Cleveland Browns Stadium, I honestly don't even know if I'd be able to handle it. Like the pressure of that. I mean, are you going, you'll definitely have a different feeling being at SummerSlam for that than you would a lot of other venues, right? That will be a special homecoming for you, I would imagine.
Oh, absolutely. So my senior prom was in Cleveland Brown Stadium.
Oh my God,
my 30th
really?
birthday party thrown by my lovely wife was in Cleveland Brown Stadium. I actually trained for that match where I won the NXT Triple Crown in Cleveland Brown Stadium. There's a video of it of me running the steps and things like that. So Cleveland Brown Stadium holds such a weight to me. And it's a stadium I never thought I'd be able to wrestle in. Like, I remember, like, daydreaming in the fourth quarter of Browns game, sitting up in the nosebleed section, thinking about how cool it would be if there was an event in this stadium. But thinking, like, oh,
bar and, you know, VFW halls 1 and 10 and maybe 20 people. You know, you hear success stories all the time, and people will always say, man, I was this close to giving up and I just stuck it out another week. Can you just kind of give me like a little behind the scenes look at how hard that was, you know, putting your body through that for a crowd of 10 people and wondering whether or not you were ever going to get that? Like, what was that like? Like, how did you stay chomping at that bit to stay active in it without just throwing your hands up and going, man, I got to maybe find another way to go through life?
Yeah, it's hard, man. And I say all the time that I don't think I would have made it as far as I did if I wasn't born in Cleveland. I feel like Cleveland raises you a certain way.
Yeah.
It raises you to be a hard-working underdog. It doesn't take no for an answer. I feel like people from Cleveland are constantly just like crapped on and told they're no good or they're not this or not that, they're never going to make it. So I was used to it, honestly. I'm used to being the underdog. I'm used to hearing no, but just not taking no for an answer and just keep on fighting, keep on scratching, keep on clawing. I was told I wouldn't work in WWE. I was told there was no spot for me in NXT. and I didn't listen to them.
Yeah, no, you
I
sure
took the
didn't.
door down and became the first NXT Triple Crown champion, right? So I attribute Cleveland because I think it's a certain type of person to grow up with.
Yeah, I agree. It will kind of make you tough, as we're talking to Johnny Gargano again out of the WWE. You know, I'm curious about what your career goals are. You're in what I would call rare air, where you're doing exactly for a living what it is you wanted to do, and that can be a prize in itself. Like, man, a lot of people hate their life, they hate their jobs, they got this. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. What's on the horizon for your WWE career that you would like to see get done before you're done with it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not satisfied. I'm never going to be satisfied. I'm never going to be one of those people that
That's
I'm like, oh, well, you know,
answer.
I made it, and that's all as far as I want to get. You know, I want to win a championship. I haven't won a championship on Raw and SmackDown yet, and those were titles that I looked to when I was younger, and those were the dream, right? That was like the titles I wanted to hold. And now, me and Tommaso Ciampa, my tag team partner in DIY, we made it our agenda this year to win the tag team titles in 2024. And if it can work out, if the stars align in certain ways to where we can have a tag team title match at SummerSlam in Cleveland Brown Stadium, if that was able to work out, and I was get a chance there for a title, to potentially win a title in that stadium, it'd be just a culmination of years of work.
Yeah.
So that's on the agenda. Obviously, I'm far from finished yet. I had my first match at WrestleMania recently. That was one I'm glad I can check off the bucket list item. But there's so many things I want to do, so many things I still want to accomplish, and I'm far from done yet.
Yeah, I read last night that you actually were in a Royal Rumble and you made it 30 minutes in one of those before you had before you were eliminated. Dude, what is that like? I mean, you had to be exhausted after that, right?
Yeah, I pride myself on my stamina. I'm not the biggest guy, but I feel like my stamina has played a big part in my career. Trust me, you are definitely sore the next morning after something like that.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, you have to be. I know, you know, forever people have used the F word with professional wrestling, and I don't see it that way. I think there's a difference between predetermined and the F word, because I have seen what you guys put your bodies through. We've seen plenty of, retired wrestlers kind of talk about it, and, the injuries that they have. And I feel like a lot of people focus on that when talking NFL player, NHL player, maybe even an NBA guy. And I feel like sometimes, man, the wrestlers, the superstars, you guys, sometimes people overlook what you're doing to your bodies there a little bit, even though you're jumping off top ropes and stuff. That's got to be a little frustrating, no?
Oh, for sure. I think when you look at what we've done, and trust me, I can tell you, getting out of bed this morning, I definitely feel it every morning when I get out of bed. There's 20 years of wear and tear on my body. But luckily, I think the schedule and things like that, they take care of us so much better nowadays. We're extremely lucky to have the medical team and the staff and the crew that we have now that look after us. But 20 years of wear and tear on my body definitely tell you that I've been through it. And I know, people bring up the NFL, they bring up MLB, NBA, and the wear and tear those guys have. But we definitely are just a unique animal. We are doing so many different things, and the hits we take, I promise you, are 100% real.
Yeah, no, you can tell for sure. As we're talking to Johnny Gargano, again, WWE superstar. And, I just thought of this question on the fly, but I saw Austin Rivers, NBA player, said, there's a lot of NBA guys that could go in and play in the NFL tomorrow. You're not taking 30 NFL guys and bringing them to the NBA. A lot of people agreed. Plenty of people disagreed with him. How many professional athletes that you think you've met do you think would actually turn themselves into a decent WWE superstar?
So I'll go Cleveland based if I have to pick one.
Oh, I love that.
I think Myles Garrett,
for sure,
obviously,
freak of nature,
transitioned extremely well.
Yes.
Also, David Njoku. I think David Njoku has got very great charisma, an awesome look. I think David Njoku would also transition very well.
Yeah, I think he could have the personality, because so much of what you guys do is mic skills too, right? It's not just the athleticism. It's like you got to be entertaining, the interviews and all of that, the hype angle of that. And I think Myles would be fantastic at that. And in Njoku, I think, that's a good call. I wouldn't have thought about the Chief, but there it is. He's already got the name. He's already got the brand. He's already got the nickname.
Already got the taunt.
Yeah, he's
Good to
ready.
It is
He's
Friday.
ready to go. We got Johnny Gargano out here replacing himself with David and Joku. As you
We
are
had
gonna
a show at our theater tonight.
as you are going to be part of
He's my tag
SummerSlam.
team partner. I'll
The
team with him.
nothing
Oh,
sweetheart
dude,
that
that's
I
a dream
already
scenario for a
I
Cleveland
ate
fan
this
right there. Let's make
morning
that
eggs.
happen at
Right?
SummerSlam.
3
Let's make
eggs.
that happen. As SummerSlam
So-
tickets are getting underway this week, Johnny Gargano will be part
The
of that
body
at
was
Cleveland
not
Browns Stadium
melted.
August 3rd. My man, thank you so much for spending some time with me this morning. And I
This
don't know
is
what
the
your
reason, like,
availability
I'm
is as we get
always,
closer to SummerSlam that
I need
week
an
or whatever.
egg.
But dude, if you want to jump back on, just feel free to
I
reach
need
out,
an
let me
egg.
know. You're a great hang. I'd
An
love to have you
egg.
back on.
Appreciate that, man, very much. Anytime
And
you
nuts.
guys want me, let me know.
Absolutely, man. Let's set it up for that week. Dude,
Yeah.
have a good rest of your
He's
day. all right?
nuts.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Thanks, man. I appreciate
nuts.
you.
He's
Thanks
nuts.
to Johnny Gargano,
I
WWE
mean nuts.
superstar, who will be part
What
of
about these
SummerSlam
nuts?
August 3rd at Cleveland
What?
Browns Stadium.
These
We'll be
nuts.
right back with more Sandwich Show. You guys hang out. Tracy, over to you for weather.
The sun must be shining, Dave, because the 7 for 7
Of course.
sale is back at
I like
Meijer.
your nuts.
Mix and match hundreds of items like extra large
She
avocados
likes
and
these
mangoes,
nuts.
Kraft macaroni and cheese, and Glass O vitamin water. Pick any 7 for just $7. There's a strong chance of saving with the same quality Meijer deals in-store or online. Back to you, Dave.
Sounds great, Tracy.
Deals so good, you've just got to talk about them. Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Influences in homes, Boy Scouts can be a place for a young boy to develop the life skills needed to be a man. I should know I grew up without my
In
father.
the Philippines
The
are
Boy
not
Scouts
always
taught me
having
stuff
a
I
Bible.
wasn't
I cannot
going to
get
learn
a house
just
like that.
by being a
But must be
And I wrote back that he
complete,
wrote that in
like,
after I teased this subject this morning. And I said, and he'll tell you, I wrote right back and I said, this is an intelligent and measured point, and I want to make sure we get to it inside the conversation.
If there have another
I don't think he's
islands
wrong.
or country.
Now, the adult male
in the
influences in
middle of,
homes, I mean, we've had
like,
the Big Brother program for as long as I can remember.
huge
Like, this has always kind of been a
country that
thing,
covered
right?
all the
Single
Philippines
parent
and the
homes have been a
Pacific
thing for a
Island.
lot longer than people want to, or that we talk about. That's not a Taylor thing. I
It's
think that's-
good.
But I don't think he's wrong. This is how it works. Like when you hit the news cycle again, very rarely do people talk about the thing. They use it as an excuse to talk about the other thing. And he's right. That's what's happening. That's why people are annoyed with media.
Like another
Because they
island.
feel as if, oh, now all people are going to talk about is these lawsuits, is that this thing happened. And it's like, well, we should be talking. What you say about people going to church on Sunday? How could you send your kids back there? I don't know. How do I send them around the campfire? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of one of those things. But I do believe skills are important. And I'm willing to bet there are a lot of skills that the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, whatever the hell the thing should be for your kid, can teach. About 3 times a month, I'll see an article on something that I'm like, yeah, I should maybe get into that. And what it is, about 3 times a month, you'll see it floating around the internet. X and X and X generation feels as if they should have been taught more in high school. I just graduated high school and they didn't teach me this, this, and this, and this, and this. So what I'm saying is we actually send kids to a place every single day to learn stuff, and they're not covering everything. And you can be a great parent. You can have a 2-parent household. You can have all of that stuff, and you still don't know everything. You still don't have all the right experiences. My dad wasn't a very good mechanic. To learn any of that stuff, we had to go to my grandparents' house, and Earl taught us that. I had that privilege. My mom had multiple brothers. My uncles were every bit, I don't know about every bit, your father outranks stuff, but like, my Uncle Sonny taught me a lot when I was a kid. I mean, a ton. How to water ski. My Uncle Sonny taught me that. My dad didn't teach me that. Like, you can learn stuff. So outside male influences outside of your father are absolutely important, and I had a bunch of it. People have always kind of looked at the Boy Scouts as like a babysitter. So like the whole get involved, I think what a lot of parents are saying, no, dude, this is why I like this. Is because, like, all right, my kids are going to learn stuff. They're going to learn responsibility, and I can breathe and watch Murder, She Wrote, or whatever the hell was big, right? It's kind of one of those things. You're not wrong that people should be more involved in their kids' lives and what they're doing. I think it's a lot to ask for people to become a troop leader, because I'm willing to bet if I went person by person and asked them, what's your son's teacher's name? Would they know that? Maybe not. Right? So it's a lot to ask of people who don't know, who are apathetic about things like their children's education. They'd be like, all right, now let's go get our sewing patch. Yes, I'm being a little, I'm using a little hyperbole there. Take it easy, relax. This feels very much like the name change. Don't forget about us, and it's not all bad news. Look at how nice we are. It very much feels that way, and it's because, well, it kind of is that way.
6-9.
Welcome back to the Stansbury Show. Teresa rocks the bank with you again at 10 a.m. Grab another
Lights turn into yellow, sweetheart. What is that?
Man, will my boss be unhappy
This
about
field,
that?
lights turn
It's
into
a
yellow.
$1,000
What, the
keyword
field?
at 10.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And this
You know,
is still
more
like
than
brown.
once I've told you, I kind of feel like we're obsessed, society is,
Maybe
with
it's wheat.
renaming everything so we can pretend
That's
everything
right.
we're dealing with is new. And when you start talking dating or marriage terms and all this stuff, we have really done a bang-up job with that, right? Like beige flag or red flag or green flag.
I said I love you.
Getting zombied, being fubbed, ghosted. I remember when everybody giggled at that one. What does that even mean? And now it's like, it's just welcome. It's just part of our
Is
conversation.
that a baggie?
No, it's
So there's another one here.
Motor?
it's a food truck.
And I'm sure the last thing you need is like, oh, more useless terminology that I'm
Yeah.
never going to use. But
They got like food
micro
trucks
cheating
in Millersburg on Fridays.
is apparently a huge problem in relationships today, and I'm not sure I disagree here. Dating expert Mel Schilling. Some of you may know this person from Married at First Sight. That's not necessarily a program I watch a lot, but some of you may know that person.
I told to Jen.
So
that,
what classes, like what gets, what's under the micro cheating umbrella?
Was inviting us.
They're
I
saying
was receiving
having
a
a
message
sneaky
before an
look on
email,
dating
right?
apps to see what else is out there.
For 99 Days Fiancé show. They said, why is it? And then,
Now, when some people are going to tell me,
like,
this,
or if you didn't join, I said, because you don't want to join for this kind of show.
Maybe. I think a lot of times things can
Probably
start
the
like
one
that
of
and
the
move into
stars on
something
the
else.
show.
Doesn't
In
necessarily
our
mean
show
it will
is
for
not
you.
us.
If you're sending flirty messages to an acquaintance without your partner's
You know what I mean,
knowledge.
right? The one,
Here's my problem.
I
Is it the
mean,
new weird
because
name nobody wants to use?
in a show,
Is that
like,
not cheating?
all the family, both sides, not really my side, is
Like,
mostly your side
I don't know why
that
we need to
are
have the micro.
showed up in a show.
Guys, am I
Because,
crazy?
like example, I would be here, right?
But if your wife
I'm in
gets a
here,
hold of your
so
phone and she finds
Even-
out you sent what we're calling here
I said maybe
a flirty
in a
message
show,
to an acquaintance,
the most famous is not us.
that conversation is going to be pretty
The
loud, right?
becomes famous is your,
You're
more
sleeping on the
than-
couch or I'm going to my sister's, right? And like that's one of
No,
those
that's not
two
why.
things is going to happen.
That's not why I didn't want to do it.
A lot of different opinions.
Like, see,
I
if
remember
we're
I
going for
cheating once.
eating,
He told me
we're
without
having a
penetration, it's not cheating.
dinner,
And I
a
was like,
family,
hold on.
dates,
hold
and
on.
also
I was
like,
like, does that mean kissing another person isn't cheating?
especially the
What
time of
about,
location, they
some
will
initials?
show
How about
up.
if we put maybe like an H together with a J? Like, is that cheating? How does that work? It's like, what's that? What if we put a B next to that?
So
What is
whoever
that?
will
What
be
happens
famous
then?
on the
'Cause
show
that kind of
in
feels like
our
cheating.
show
Let me
is
tell you, if my person I'm dating or in a relationship would ever come home and be like, yeah, well, it was just this, I'm gonna be like, well, you just need to go home now, right? That's gonna be a thing. How is that micro anything? Flirty messages. Now, I guess I have been accused of being a flirtatious person multiple times in my life, whether it be like with like a waitress or like something like that. I have a little bit of that charm and disarm thing people can have when I feel like being nice. Not all that often, but if I feel like doing it, I kind of have that. I don't think that's the same thing. Communicating with another person,
Kind of
and
fish
if
did
you're,
you get?
here's the good rule.
Well,
of
that
thumb.
it
I
was
don't care if it's
tilapia
flirty or
because
not.
we
If you're
need to finish
hiding
that
the
one
fact that
before
you're
we
having
eat
fun.
the salmon that I
You
bought
don't
yesterday.
understand. My person's really jealous and they don't understand.
The
Like,
one
if
that you bought?
Well, did they
We
start
bought
out
that
jealous,
on
or
the
did you
other-
kind of make them that person by what it is
Let's
you're
just-
doing that you
let's
think
just-
is okay that they
do the
don't.
salmon.
Because they do get to have
But I
fun
didn't
with
leave
what's
out.
okay
It's
in
still in
their
frozen.
relationship.
Because I left this morning.
You can bake it.
You
It's a
like that? Okay.
partnership
We'll just put it in that glass
the
one that they-
That glass casserole.
It's always sold, right?
Okay.
sheet and
They say if you're not being
Some water
entirely
and put some
truthful
water in
about
there and-
your relationship status, status for somebody else. Yeah, that feels like
seafood seasoning on
that
it.
doesn't. Like, here's where micro cheating comes in.
Just bake it.
Well, you can bake it.
Because like that's
Sweetheart.
I was trying to avoid whatever that was in the road. And if it was glass or what it was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see
shopping
it.
for groceries before they run out.
Trying not to get a flat tire.
Yeah.
That's to me is.
So you can make preparing for the corn. You can do it, okay?
Isn't cheating
So at least it's easy for us.
I'm doing that I wouldn't want my partner doing is essentially cheating? Isn't that
Because I wanted like as long as like
We still got that. Still got some of that rotisserie chicken too. Don't we?
yeah.
Isn't that thought?
If I make out with another
Why don't we
woman,
just heat that up?
Okay, we will heat
and
that
I would
up.
expect that.
Well, that the corn.
Well, I just slipped up and I was
We
just
can pull the
hammering it
salmon
hard.
out
I know I'm 50,
at another
but
time
I
and thaw it.
somehow I just
Okay.
screwed up. Like, nah, you
We can
didn't
finish
screw
that
up.
first,
You
the
did something.
chicken,
Yeah.
and because the fish is
And
the
maybe you
tilapia is
didn't
not.
screw up. Maybe you did make a mistake.
It's not more. It's not just only
Mistakes
like
have consequences,
think for
right?
for
I mean, so that's the
pieces.
thing.
but not really big.
I've said this a
So we
different
can
way to
at
you
least
for a
we have
while.
fish and
The
chicken.
DMs of social media apps are brutal, dude. That's where it's all going down. And it's a really strange thing that they
Next
all
time you
have.
must need to buy the what's this yogurt sweetheart.
These are
You
social
can eat the
items.
yogurt too.
It's
Did you
about
eat the
an
yogurt?
open conversation. It's about an open forum.
It
An
depends on
exchange
what
of
kind it
ideas.
You
is.
must be eat yogurt. I forgot to buy yogurt.
Yeah, social
So
media kind of
probably
screwed
him.
up, and it shows you, hey, so and so liked this post, so and so liked this post. He liked it
A lot
too.
of
Look
it
at
I
all
don't
these
like.
thirsty dudes looking at
No,
this.
because
cleavage.
yogurt is also have
And
an
the names are-
iodine,
You don't want anybody to see your name. in
so
there.
we need that one
But you don't
because we
want
cannot
that,
eat
sure.
the mostly the
Here, I'm gonna slide those,
seaweeds
I'll
or
get
the
it.
seafoods.
Never done that. Getting on that line there.
I mean, iodine.
Ladies, do you tell your boyfriend about every message that comes in about
What
a guy trying to hit
happened?
on you?
Oh, that.
Like maybe his best friend? Do you do that?
Imagine that.
Well, they can't handle it, this and that. Might be time to switch that partner up a little then, no? Why are we telling down what it is we should be doing to make sure we keep somebody in our lives versus raising the standard? Why is that? I'm not yelling at you. Have I been guilty of micro cheating plenty of times in my life?
Wow.
Yes.
Very
Absolutely.
easy to that
Many,
tonight.
many
Look,
times.
it's really full.
I've told you this before, and it's
Don't you
true.
miss
I have
bussing
dated
there? I said,
I wanna
don't
say
you
six,
miss
it's probably closer to
bussing?
4. I've dated
They're
at least 4
asking
women
with
in my life.
me
Most
if
people
I
would have married and
needs
I
for
knew right
busing. I said, well, my
away. Right away. As a matter
I'm
of fact, I'll
into
never
for-
forget, dude, like 30
for
guys I know,
what's
like,
this?
"You're not married,
For
huh?
hosting.
What's the matter with you? Dude, married. Why?
They're
What are you
hiring
doing?"
They're hiring
It's
the
like, nah, man, I
kitchen
can't do it.
staff and the
You know what I mean?
busser.
Happens to me, and bro, let me just say, I micro cheated on her ass. every other
Because you
chance I
know
could
that
get. It's
mostly
terrible.
now it's
Awful.
the weather is
See, I
good
never
already.
physically, like, cheated on her, but
So
was I
they're hiring,
messaging other women? Was I doing all this stuff? Yes. Awful. She deserved
how many.
and I mean absolutely none of that. She was a killer person. Who's now married, got a couple of kids, and they got a great life, and God bless her. I'm happy for her because she deserves every last bit of that. She didn't deserve anything I think of that.
Can I quickly to get by soil, sweetheart?
So I've been guilty of all
Can I
that
quickly
stuff.
to get
That's
by
cheating.
soil?
What's
Put a
the
soil there.
difference between
They're closed.
flirting
It's 9
and
o'clock.
micro cheating?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because
Not yet.
flirting is technically okay.
Because my
right? They
blood
say
that
I wanna go
flirting
home.
can be a little
Okay, I'm
harmless.
sorry. Why you're mad?
I'm not mad. I
I
just
just
want to go
Flirters
home.
are too
I just only
cheating,
asking
yes, but
you
we'll try
just
to
to
figure out
keep
what
the
the
vibe.
difference between these two things are: micro cheating and flirting.
I know.
We had all day Sunday and Monday to do that.
Oh, because I buy the plant bus yesterday.
Now they say what classes as micro cheating.
God, we're gonna be in
the
bed in
actions
about an
that can be
hour.
considered is, you having a little bit of a
I'm still thinking
we
of
can
my
get up and
plan.
go to work again tomorrow morning.
And I'm still thinking of my plan.
Little curiosity killed the cat there. I'm not sure if that's bad, but they say sending flirty messages to an acquaintance without Yeah, like let's be honest. If you're not telling your partner about a conversation you're having, there's a reason behind it. Well, it's they're insane and they're too jealous and they're this. And it's like you just listed a couple of reasons not to be in a relationship, right? Now, again, I'm no expert here. As there's an area in my life I can't seem to get on track. It's that.
What are you gonna do?
Suspicion
Okay.
that I'm
What are you
as
looking
honest
for?
with you as I am. But you know, there's probably other factors there as well.